Thank you for joining me today. We're going to do another sketch from the 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches. This one is going to be from page number 20. And on here, it is going to be using 3 different photos. And I am not following the right sizing of the photos. So I'm going to have to kind of alter the sketch. And I believe the other thing that I was going to try to modify is not to do 3 layers of paper. That seems like a lot. Sometimes I will do it, but not very frequently. So we're only going to have 2 layers of paper here, and then we've got a border down towards the bottom. We are using the Passport to Adventures collection. This is my last layout, and this one is goes in what I'm going to call the family album. Each of my kids has an album, and then there's one kind of generic general family album that I put together with scrapbooking paper. There's many reasons why I do that, but we can maybe in a future episode kind of get into some of that and reasons why or different ways to do it. There's no right or wrong reason, but anyways, so this is my last layout. I did 3, one for each kid, and then this one, like I said, will go in the family album. And we're not using a lot of punches on here. You will see I'm using more die cuts, and then some of the extra and leftover paper that were used to put together some of the other pages. So I'm gonna go ahead, my photos are already pre-cut. So really all I have to do is cut my papers and figure out how I want to, how and what I want the bottom section to look like with the cars. The sketch had a couple of different layers. Because I'm only doing 2 layers, I'm only going to have 1 layer on the border as well. So let me start working on that, and then we will regroup as I go through the process and get things tacked down. I think I'm going to do 9 3/4. Might get it down to 9 1/2. Because the other thing, the sketch has it going all the way up to the top. I was not planning on going all the way up to the top, but I need a good cutoff for these 2 photos. So maybe another way to do this, I guess, is to slide it almost all the way over and just kind of line them up there with a little bit of space. And I think I'm going to do not 9 1/2, not 9 3/4, a 9 3/8 is what I'm going to cut this across. And then that should give me a decent room at the bottom. And I may mat these, I may not. There, I think I like that. So that'll be a good placement there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, this is kind of too busy, so I'm thinking I'm gonna bring in either the yellow or the green, or even possibly this geometric design, to put kind of another border around it, just like that. And I don't think I'm gonna use the green. Down to either the yellow or this geometric, but the geometric could be used to matte. So I think I'm gonna go with the yellow. And I need to trim off the little notches that were left over from one of my other projects. just need to get the right dimensions here. Grab a smaller ruler. And I will probably do 1 7/8 inches and see how that looks. And I can't do it that way, so let's see, 1 7/8 inches. And then I know I do have to cut this down too, but that's a different, we'll get that squared away here in a second. All right, I think that'll work. Trim off a 1/2 inch on this side. All right, so now what I want to try to do is get this a similar border all the way around the sheet of paper. And it's about 1/4 inch. So what I can do, and what I will do, I'm going to just use one of my mats. All right, so I think I'm going to put this smaller strip on first. This is going to be a tough one, I think, to attach it down. Do the best I can to line it up, starting at one end. And you could put a light mark on the paper too, if you were really wanted to get it exact. And I just want to get it close enough so that you don't notice anything. See, this side really wants to touch down. Come on. Wasn't ready to commit yet. Oh, now I got stuff moving all over the place. All right. Okay. Okay, let's line this back up. And you could put some adhesive on the back side too, to try to prevent it from moving. I didn't think it was going to be this big of a problem, so just kind of let it go. All right, and I think that is where we're going to put this one. Okay, the bigger piece was a lot easier than the little one. And then I do like this, the idea of matting these two with this. So I'm going to leave that. Leave that for now, and I think I'm going to keep working on this bottom section because I had not fully thought out the bottom quite yet. Because how did I do? See, I did a good job on that one. So if I did it up at the top, I would have some space down here, but if I centered it in the middle, I could bring it down. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by attaching it to this sheet of paper, and then we'll have to figure out, and I could put temporary adhesive on it too to help with the placement. But I don't think I want it to all the way to the top. I'm fine with it if it touches the yellow and then stops a little bit, and so I think that looks good. So let's do that. So it can either go all the way up to the blue, because I'm not opposed to that, and it'll just be a little bit wider wider borders around the photos. I think that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put the first one down because it'll be easier for me to cut then. So it's a little off. So this one I could hang, and I might do that. Hang it down a little bit from the top of the blue, have it overflow on the bottom. I'm gonna put the cars down because I feel good about where they are at. Try to center these the best I can before they kind of get stuck down on their own. I think that's all right. Okay, that looks good, and I'll put this down. Oh boy, I better wait. I got this photo here too. I remember none of the photos were the exact sizes either. So trying to keep them within the right margins here so that it still looks okay. And I have this for at the top. And then this may now have to get tucked down underneath here. And I will raise, the boarding pass will be flat, but I will raise the on time up with some foam adhesive or foam tape. I'll have that go up at the top. I don't need to touch. Maybe I'm gonna play with either shimming this further one direction or another. I can probably move it over so that I've got equal margins on both sides, or very similar. Okay, I think that's okay. So let me attach this down so it's done and stops moving. And then I do have the plain, oops. I do have this plain over here that I'm gonna include. And then I'll put a little bit of foam on the wings so they don't get squished down. Let's play with the direction. Kind of looks like it's coming in for a mountain landing. So I don't want it to make it look like it's gonna crash, so we'll have to probably put it up or just flat. And this layout didn't have a lot to it as far as like trying to cut things and do any type of too many different borders or punches or anything like that. I could certainly add some more on here. I did kind of skinny it down with the sheer number of embellishments that were recommended or that were shown on the punch, or on the page, but that's the beauty of starting with a sketch, and then you can kind of alter it to do whatever it is that you would like, and with what you have for embellishments and things like that too. So I'm gonna have this touch, and I will write on this one the travel itinerary that we had, at least for the 3 days, just to kind of give it a little bit more context. And then for the most part, this one is fairly well complete. Just a little bit of journaling to do, and it should be good. So that is kind of sketch number 20 on a quick look. Join me back for my next one will be hiking. So a hiking adventure using this same paper. So thank you for joining me today.